All right. Hello. How are
Hello.
you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm all good, my G. Just fucking,
Yeah.
yeah, just chilling, man. You already know.
Yeah. So we're here with Progress, Slicky B, Slacs Bianci, for a little interview, little session. Nothing too crazy, just to get to know him a bit and his music. And yeah, we'll see where we go from there. But I mean, right off the bat, you just recently released your latest album, Use
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Boredom. Can you talk to us a little bit about the process that you went through with that album and how that's slightly different to your previous work, maybe?
Um, yeah, it was way more different this time. Cause I think something that was like a very evident thing when you look at my back catalogue was like I was releasing a lot within a short period of time. Like I think there was like something like four. I think it was like four like full releases within like less than 2 years,
Mm.
and I kind of like I'm still happy with how they all came out. But there was definitely parts where I'm like looking back and I'm going, yeah, but if I carry on moving at this pace, I'm kind of not letting it develop the way I had kind of like envisioned it to develop. It's not really gonna like it's still gonna be authentic and what have you, but it's not gonna like have that self fulfillment for me because it's like everyone's just like it was like an expectation that there just needs to
Hmm.
be shunted out, and I was kind of like kind of felt like that was very like invasive, if you know what I'm saying. So
Right.
I was kind of like, no, I'm just gonna wait it out. And
Yeah.
then yeah, I started Useless Boredom straight after Slicker, so that would have been August 2019. And
Hmm.
I remember by Christmas 2019, I had 12 full tracks, and then through the whole course of this year, there'd be 12 new tracks replacing that. And then another period of time, there'd be 12 more tracks that then replace all that.
Right.
It's kind of like over the time, it all got to a place to a point where not only me, but all the man them, anyone that I'm showing, all my peoples, are all going, yeah, this is what you had envisioned,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
this is what it was. And it was one of them where, like, I kept on having people say to me, like, oh, like the hype you've got going on is gonna die out, and I was like, yeah, if it does, that's cool. That's not my problem. Like, I'd much rather it be the other way around. That it's something I'm happy with than it
Mm.
be like something I don't really feel that passionate and happy about and fulfilled with. I'm just like, yeah, here's this project. And because at the time there's this hype, like
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, of course.
I think it's
Yeah.
a great thing, innit?
Yeah. So you definitely slowed down with this one, which I
Yeah,
think is proving very, very helpful, especially
my
in these times where, like everything just consumes so quickly and nobody gives it any like time and space for a project that you put your
mm,
heart and soul into. The album to me, it felt a bit slower in a sense. It felt like it had a more of a somber mood,
yeah,
which I think is actually quite reflective of 2020
yeah, exactly.
as
Like,
a whole. Was that kind of what you were aiming for?
yeah, I guess like I guess that's how the year was. Like, I'm always trying to make sure that whatever I'm making is like just a literal reflection of what's like around me and what I'm going through. And it was like kind of making them high energy songs wasn't really like applicable in
Mm,
that sense. Do you know what I'm saying? It
yeah,
didn't really feel like it was fitting in within that whole like margin of things. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, of course.
So
Yeah. And also on the album, you had quite a number of collaborators with you, features
yeah,
and stuff. A lot of them from Nottingham as well. So how would you say that the Nottingham music scene has kind of influenced your sound, if at all, or are you more of a London guy?
no, I'm definitely not a London guy. Yeah, definitely not. It's just that I was like obviously just working with a lot of heads down there, innit? Like working with like Loud House and what have you. Shout out Loud House. Working with the Pit, big up Tramel every time. Like, and then like various other producers and stuff over there. And it wasn't one of them where it's like, yo, there was a line the novelist said in an interview, and it was something JME told him. And
Mm,
when he said it, I was like, yeah, that's facts. That's kind of what subconsciously I've been doing this whole time. And it was like, the advice was go where the love is.
Right.
So it wasn't like a sense of, oh, I'm getting bare hating knots. It was just like, at the time, I'm not feeling inspired in where I'm around. And it's hard to feel inspired when you're here. So I'm saying, like, I'm going to these other places, I'm traveling where I'm seeing like mad things, mad views. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't usually see that. So I'm saying, and then it's like, it's influencing me. And then it's also then making me embrace Nottingham more.
Yeah.
Like, I think this time around, it's made me definitely embrace Nottingham in my music so much more now, innit? Because, but it was like certain things that made me kind of had to do that in an organic way. I wouldn't just force it. And I think like, obviously Notts has its music scene in it, but there's not a lot of it that I personally fit into. It's all very like, you know, like within that certain path. So it's like one of them where now finally getting to collaborative artists where from around my ways that do work well with me. You know what I'm saying? Like Garto, for example. Like it's just one of them where it's just all organic. I think it was never like fuck Knots, but it was always like these men are trying, here in Knots they're doing this drum and bass line thing. They're not really trying to chill out to music like that. They're all trying to, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm getting mad responses from man up fucking down south and up north, and that are all chilling to my music. So I'll go where the love is, and you get me, like.
Yeah.
And then through that, I think there's definitely been, because of that, there's been more love now. You know what I'm saying? So then I've been able to gravitate it back, and I think as well, I've never been someone to obsess over like big features or anything like that. But I think definitely this time around, I was like, yo, like, fuck caring about whatever level anyone's on. Just make sure you just collab with people that you actually genuinely rate. And that's not me saying like that I've worked with people in the past and thought, oh, it's only because they've got clout that I work with them. I don't rate their music, but it was something I felt definitely important, like passionate about this time around. It's like there might be people where the people might go on the track list and be like, yeah, who's that? Just some random singer. But I'm like, yeah, but they're sick.
Yeah.
Like, hear this singer, they're sick, and they're sick on my beat. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it definitely comes through with the music as well. Like you definitely create that space for the lesser known artists to kind of occupy and shine for themselves.
Yeah, man. Because it's one of them, like, you know, like I've had it in my past where, you know, like people just kind of act like they're too good to, you know, like work with you, or they might be on this level and they might air you. And it's kind of like, I had both ends. I had people that would air me, then become the people that are messaging me.
Yeah.
And I was never that dickhead to go give them the same treatment back.
Yeah.
But it definitely sparks it in me even more to be like, no, like, let's, like, I'd see other people and think, yeah, these are people that are sick, but because of this whole hierarchy bullshit, like, do you know what I'm saying? People end up like fogging away from things when it's in reality, good music gravitates. That's the way I see it. Good music gravitates. Like,
100%.
Like there's people from Notts that, well, not just from Notts, there's people from all over that, you know, like, but there's people from like all over Notts where like they, from all over England, yeah, that, you know, they're on major labels, like they're on big time labels, they've got big time releases, they've gone on tour with big people.
Radio players.
And when you actually like, when you actually hear the music, you're like, this is dead, this is blank, like, and then you actually see like, no, they're not actually big, like they're not actually getting a response, they haven't got a fan base, like they are just literally like a industry plant, innit? Like, and I think it's just one of them, like I just think it ain't gravitating in a way that it's good, it's gravitating just because it's being fed around by these fucking CEOs, you know what I'm saying?
Do you pay attention really closely to the underground scene itself? Or do you kind of just kind of go with the flow? Or do you do some research as well?
Like, I definitely do my research, yeah. Like, I'd say I'm educated on it. But I think that, like, in my opinion, yeah, in terms of, like, you know, we've had the undergrounds of a lot of different subcultures in UK music become, like, a mad infrastructure, yeah. But you see, for, like, this I never know what to fully class it, but I guess what a lot of people class it is like cloud rap, alternative rap.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that, it's at a very good stage, but the infrastructure's like still coming. So I think it's like, it's important to stay educated, but I just try not to let it influence me in terms of, I want it to motivate me to keep it moving, but I don't delve into it enough where it influences me musically. Like, for example, you hear like a lot of people that are trying to do music, and they might hit you up like, oh, fucking, and you go check out this stuff, and it's just like a regurgitated Lee Scott. It's a or like a regurgitated Trillian. It's a regurgitated SL. Like, it's just like very different type of underground artists, but it's like cool. It's evident that you're educated and you're passionate about the scene, but now like find your thing. And add to the scene. Don't add to the scene as a number. Yeah, like, you know, like, it's just one of them.
Where's your name from?
So, I feel like where people think it's going to be like a mad interesting story, but it actually really
it's not. Oh, come on.
So basically, so my actual birth name is Jacob, and then when I was growing up, it kind of became Jax, like Jacs, and can't believe I'm even saying this, and then like I used to just always be in like Dickies trousers or like it was work trousers. Man used to just think they were Koch. Like, and I rated the pockets. I've got my loud pack in this side. I've got my grind on this side. Phone charger there. I got this. I don't even need no pouch. Like, I was thinking, this is sick. And obviously like them trousers, they are sick, innit? You know what I'm saying? They're stylish. And it just kind of like became a thing between like a lot of olders and shit. They were just kind of saying like, slacks. As in, like, you know, that's what Americans call trousers, isn't it? Slacks. And it kind of like, I just kind of spun it around with the spelling of my nickname of Jax, like with Slacks, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of sick. And I was making music for a very long time before that. Just never really had proper names. Like, I think, there was never proper names. It was just always different random things, and I never really gave a shit. And then I was like, no, but this is actually me now. Like, I could, like, you know, them where it just clicks in your brain.
Yeah.
Like, cool. I don't even care if someone doesn't fuck with it. It's not one of them names where I'm like, oh, I've came up with this concept. I hope people fuck with it. It was like, no, if they don't fuck with it, they don't fuck with me, because this actually is me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, and there's nothing exciting about Bianchi. It really isn't. It's just a thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But it was one of them where it just kind of clicked, and I was like, it works. With
again, like really organic sort of happenings.
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
That's a good theme for you as well. Like, you always try and build stuff from the ground up, which is quite unique, actually. Not many people are willing to dedicate the time and the patience to do that.
Yeah, man. Well, I think it's the only way, though, because if not, then the thing's going to be shit.
Yeah, you'll have a good year or two, and then
you know what I'm saying? You'll see like artists where their name is aged really badly. Like, where you're like, oh god, like where you just end up finding it fascinating. Like, raw, people really like fucked with that back then, that name. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of it makes no sense. Just, I think people that put a time limit on anything within the music thing, it ain't gonna work. Like, it just ain't. It's not gonna come out the way you wanted it to be, you envisioned it. And if you do feel like it came out the way you wanted it, envisioned it, that's because you compromised your vision. Like, you actually compromised your whole thing from. Like, do you know what I'm saying? You didn't. Like, people will go, oh no, it came out the way I did it, and this EP in 3 weeks, and it's like, that whole time though, you're subconsciously like, we'll stop having ambitions for that one now. We'll stop having ambitions for that now. We'll now having ambitions for that now. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's one of them.
That's true. You produce your own stuff sometimes, right?
Yeah, pretty much all the time. There's only like I thought with bare producers, but I just kind of I find it hard to like I'll lay tracks on them, and you know, people will fuck with them, and producers will be like, it's sick, we should put it out. But I don't know why, I'm just kind of like, no, I just don't feel like this is it. Like, it's very rare that I'll hear myself on someone else's beat and be like, yeah, this is it.
Right.
And then kind of, there's a lot of producers where they kind of sick where they'll be like, cool, you make a melody then. Like, or you make a fucking drum beat then, and then we'll work it together. Like,
okay.
So like, I think the only person to do any other production on Useless Boredom other than me was one of my younger G's, Bot.
Okay.
And that's because he's that type of sick where he could send me a beat pack of like 40 sick beats, and I'll love all of them, and I'll freestyle some of my shit to them. But I'm still like, yeah, but no, it's just not me on the track. It's just not me on the track. And then he was kind of, like I say, that type of sick where it was just like, oh, cool, fucking send me a melody then, and we'll work it out. And I did. I just sent him some chords, and then that was what then became I Don't Need It, because he's very good at capturing that like punchy 808 type of energy where I wouldn't have been able to manifest it in that same sense. But I'm also a weirdo where I just can't explain what I want in chords. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be like, yo, the melody needs to have this weird. It's like, whereas I know if it's just, it sounds arrogant, but it's not. It's just like whereas I know if I could just be like, oh, just pass me the laptop. Let me just try and do what I mean. And then like, but because whatever I'll be trying to do is some weird shit, it's not like it's written in the book. You get me? Like.
So, before COVID, did you, when you collaborated with people and producers and whatever, did you generally go to the studio or something? Did you meet up with them, or was it kind of always been online, back and forth?
No, it's a mix of everything, man. It really does depend. Like for example, producer Ed, they got Ed. He was one half of Morphine Boys with my G Scars. He's probably one of the only producers where I can really work fluently and just do whatever, and actually feel good about the bars on his beats. Where I'm like, this works as a track really well. Like this is really like coming together, and this is something where I'm still feeling like it's my style within the beat. It's not just like a beat. Like that doesn't devalue. That's still them other producers' styles, but I just didn't feel like it was working with my team.
Right.
As like Ed, for example, he was living in Peckham for a while, so I was down there obviously a lot, making a lot of shit. He lived with like loads of sick instrumentalists, so like they had like a whole little collective thing going on. And they did this like long project, and I was just laying bare bars on their shit. And I remember just being bare waved and just sat there and like knowing that I ain't got to do no instruments or producing today.
Right.
I can really just let it slide, and these I trust all these they're going to make something sick. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was a sick feeling. I was like, cool, I can really just like lay the cards out and just write. And then I have a lot of people obviously come to my spot here in the attic, what have you. Internet if needs be. Obviously with lockdown and everything, it's mainly been that. But yeah, I'll pull up anywhere, man. Like before COVID, what have you. Like, if they've got a spot and they're kind of like, oh, looking kind of busy to come nuts, I'm like, yeah, cool, I'll come to you then. I'll coach anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's one of them. But yeah, it's just a complete mix, man. But I'm never like, I was working at like a recording studio for a bit, but them type of environments there where it's like the big studio and you've got an engineer at the door going, yo, you got 2 hours left. Like, I'm not on that, innit? Like,
not for you.
Yeah, like I'm trying to stay there all night and whatever.
You need your time and space. Yeah. Of course.
It's just one of them, man. Like, obviously, I've engineered for a lot of rappers through working at studios, and it's kind of like the whole time I feel like, yeah, this ain't creative. Like they've come through with what they know they want to record, and they've got the beat, and if they know what they're doing to that 100% extent, obviously sick. That's hard. That's most of my favorite rappers are going to do that, like Scraps and Nines and Heady, and you know what I'm saying. But these ones was where it's like they came with a level of unpreparedness where they're trying to create the song full together at the studio, but it's like, yeah, but G, you've paid for 1 hour to record it. Like within the hour, you don't even know how it's going to come together, how it's going to come. Like, and there was never that satisfaction there where that defo solidified it for me. Like, yeah, that studio things like that ain't me. But eventually, I was obviously hoping this year, but just kind of everything paused. But I was hoping this year to get like my proper own studio space, patterned like in knots, or like central, and chop it up in there, man. But yeah, it will happen. Hopefully, happen 2021 still. Yeah. But it's still like the whole objective of it is freedom. It isn't,
Yeah, of course.
Time.
Yeah. What have you been listening to then as of late? Like, what's your style? What are you on?
Oh, I'm bare weird, So it's like,
throw it out there.
Let me think. Been listening to a lot of this I want to say the Australian. It's like a weird like producer, group, singer type of thing called Breathe.
Okay.
They're sick still. They've influenced quite a few of the like next shit that's coming out.
Uh-huh.
I listen to a lot of Millions.
Yeah.
Big fan of Millions. Obviously, the fucking gods, Blue Rim Mafia, legend in this thing. I've been revisiting a lot of their anthems.
Yeah.
That I was kind of rinsing like. Well, the times there was a show I supported, H1, and I says to him, "Yo," I messaged him on Insta, and I was like, "Yo, I'm open. Like, you're sick. I'm opening for you. Like, this is one of my first ever shows as well." And I was like, "Yo, I'm opening for you at Cow in Birmingham, Digbeth.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be sick if you played the scene. Steps on the scene.
Yeah.
Scene." So I was like, "Oh, it'd be sick if you played that." And at first, you like put something like, "What? Like who you talking to?" type of thing.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "No, the song. I beg you, play that song. Like out of your album." At the set, yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, sick." And then I remember the set came now, watching his thing, and I thought like he's probably. I did think it's not one of their biggest songs. It's not like a, like he's probably just gonna play like the Big Blue Room Mafia song. My man opened it with that tune, and I remember being so gassed. And it's now every time I'm listening to Blue Room Mafia, it just brings me back to them times because it was like that was one of them where it was like at the time as well. They were like they're all I'm listening to. It was like raw. Like, these are man where I'm relating to their music. It's not. They're not glamorizing nothing. They're not trying to talk about this or that, and they're not like within the whole gatekeeping within London. These men are from Brom. But to me, just like they just look like the same man them that I'd go see in Knots, and it was kind of very relatable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So massive big up to Blue Rim Mafia. They're big influences as well. So yeah, I've been revisiting a lot of their stuff. Looking through my Spotify now. I'm bare on like only like this year I've got into it,
yeah. But
a lot of like, is it R&B? I don't know. Like bare like American vocalists that are kind of on like a singy thing. Was it Gene Ico?
Okay.
Let me get their names up. My internet's moving that slow. So we've got. And a couple of tunes from Sly Moon's latest release. I've been releasing that still.
Yeah.
Like, Why Am I So Sly? I do it.
Yeah.
Big up Blur. I do rate Blur a lot. I just kind of. I think a lot of people choose Blur to just be like what they listen to. I'm like, yeah, big up because you're supporting the movement, but like that becomes a whole of a gatekeeping thing. Then like that doesn't help. That's not productive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Bako. Yeah, I rate Bako.
Yeah.
We're rating his new single with Lancey throwing it.
That was a surprise collaboration, to be honest. Didn't expect it.
Yeah, and it worked. It did actually work quite well as well. Suspect's latest album. Suspect's one of my favourites. Giggs' latest album. Obviously, Giggs one of my favourites. Only really like in the past year I've got Bearing to Drake.
Right.
Only like the past year, and I feel like when I look back, I was listening to Slicker the other day. And then I was listening to Useless Boredom after because it just came on after. And I was like, raw. I've definitely been listening to too much Drake. And it wasn't like a catting thing, but it was like, raw, I'm definitely influenced way more. I'm talking about Gal way more. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Just certain vibes. I was like, raw. I've been listening to way more Drake than I thought I have. Do you know one of them?
Drake's coming into your life soon, bro.
Yeah. One of them, but no, who else? It is mainly just UK though. Like if I'm just going on to bang on anything, like it is gonna be like your Skepta, whatever you like, the classics and shit. But Gets been dropping anthems this year. Been rinsing a lot of that, like in terms of new music. Like to be fair, most of the legends in terms of grime, they've all been releasing that type of. I don't think if this year wasn't the way it was, these man wouldn't have released these type of tunes. I don't think Get would have ventured into certain songs that he's released this year if it wasn't for that. You know what I'm saying? And especially gigs as well. Blimey, that thing he's got with, it's right at the end of the album. His latest one, he's got a song with Emily Sunday.
Right, yeah.
It's like when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, if it wasn't for this year, he would not have done a song like that. That's the gigs that he would have banged on like 10 years ago. And obviously now it's a lot more of like which I still rate, but obviously the sound's developed in a different sense now. But yeah. I can't believe I even mentioned Nines. I've been rinsing Crop Circles as well.
Yeah.
Crabs in a bucket, obviously.
I remember you posting about that quite a lot when it came out. So.
Because I was waiting for the longest for Crop Circles 2. And then it kind of like became about, Crop Circles 2 is not really coming out. And then I was like, oh, wow. So what, there's just not another Nines album? Because Crop Circles was insane. That was really insane. That set levels on a mad thing for UK. And then next minute he's on about Crabs in a Bucket. I was like, going nuts. And then every song was like everything I wanted. He's got like a hip hop joint with Tiggs. He's got the Drake emotional vibes with Northside Benji. He's got it's just so mad, man. It works so well.
Yeah.
I mean, in a nutshell, there's loads of random stuff within that, like loads of random like veiled indie songs. Or like I listen to a lot of King Cruel.
Talk us through a day in the life of Slicky B.
A day in the life of Slicky B.
What do you do, especially like during lockdown? What does it entail?
It's a mix really, like kind of obviously, such as most people, man got a job. So man got a job to attend to. I'm at uni right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Music technology.
Okay.
I'm only just on my first year as well. It's just I was when I was them ages where it's expected to go to uni, I definitely wasn't in a position to do so. Because whereas now it's like, no, I'm kind of ready to like knuckle down a bit. So I went to college for the past 2 years.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, finally my first year. I mean, I feel like it's calmer now. I should have gone uni when I was younger because now it's not even uni. It's on Zoom, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm at uni as well. So them things obviously busy. But if I'm not anything around now, I'm just always playing around on Ableton. Play a lot of Pokemon on Switch. Got a Nintendo Switch.
Alright, okay.
Play a lot of Warzone. What else have I been? Yo, Among Us has just came out on Switch. So I've been rinsing Among Us.
Okay.
I was never ever like, I've got two older brothers and they're heavy on this gaming thing. So is my dad. They're all heavy on gaming.
Are they? Yeah.
I never ever have been a heavy gaming guy.
Really? Okay.
And then it was lockdown where it's like, yo, now I've actually got like nothing to do.
Time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play better games.
Yeah.
But GTA obviously is what obvious ones. But yeah, I was never a heavy gamer until this year, and now it's kind of like I used to always think, how can people focus for like 4 hours on a game? And now it's like
time goes,
and how can I ever come off it?
Yeah, yeah, spit it around, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
100%.
I guess we shooting a lot of visuals as well. Got loads of excited shit on the way for this year, for 2021. And that's such a generic sentence, but it's like I've never been that guy to say at the end of the year because I don't know. Most of the time, this time of year, I don't know. I might be in the mood to put together an album. I might not be. It's one of them where there is some exciting shit. Like I've got working on basically there's going to be music videos for most of the album. Something that I've always lacked is visuals.
Yeah.
And going to be an EP once it starts getting warmer. It'll be ready by then. Still, we're already on good steps with that one.
Nice.
What else we got? We're working on a couple. Well, not personally, but there's a couple like documentary stuff that I'm going to be involved in as well for music and what have you. And hopefully, bloody shows, man.
Yeah.
Just before lockdown, I was trying to put together like events all over UK still, and just kind of like I was gonna try put a show on in Brighton.
Yeah.
Get all the Brighton man that I rate on there. Go Manny, get the Manny man that I'm rating there.
Wow. Yeah.
Birmingham, chop it up, you know, like just one of them. I was trying to put that together like that, but hopefully, you know. And obviously, you spoke about doing like a chilled back intimate event as well. I'm still down. That'll be hard because there's a lot of my chill tunes that I don't get to play at shows.
Yeah.
Whereas
100%.
that would work really well still.
Hopefully we can do that at some point.
Yeah. 100 man.
That'll be so sick.
Yeah,
I just miss events so much.
Bro, do you know what?
Ages.
The only time I used to go on nights out was if I was playing an event. I'd never go out if not.
Really?
I was not that guy.
Fair enough.
The club and it's thinking, oh, this is just jarring. Some prayer in my ear, fucking rapping. I got like I'm there system. Like no one's talking to each other because of whatever they're on. They're not even like, conversating. I find all that stuff jarring.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's been like, no, I kind of want to go out. I kind of want to just let myself go. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And definitely just want to shell a show. Like, because the shows was what used to always make it all make sense. Sometimes, like, from my perspective, I think a lot of people don't realise from any artist's perspective, you know, if they're just kind of sucked up in what they're doing, not really focusing on what reaction it has on the outside, you do get into like a mad irrational place where you're kind of like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Like, what is this? And then, you know, for example, best example I could give is I've fucking got I think it's like 7 hours in total, coached to Manchester, pulled up and bare people coming up to me and bare people spitting the bars back and like, wow, this is why it makes sense. Or like even shows in Knots, like Rough Trade, and there's bare man spitting the bars back to us. You know what I'm saying? It was my brethren, and it's that moment where it's like, yeah, this is why we do this. Like, this is why this all makes sense now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's been most of it as well, I think, this past year.
So
definitely. I remember going back on like YouTube and just some older sets and stuff like that. Yeah, like Keep Hush sets of rappers and artists and stuff like that. It's been feeling very nostalgic almost.
Yeah, G. It's like you look at it like, yo, this was the world before apocalypse. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have any people in particular you want to shout out?
Yeah, man. No, thank you. Yeah, I will shout out some people out.
Yeah, go on.
Let me think about this. So I don't want to be to anyone that I forget where it's like a bar because it just know it isn't a bar. Man's just on the spot in it. Shout out my boy Gorton, obviously. It's my G still. Got bare more music on the way with him. I'm talking my guy D, he's always been a part of the movement still. Scars, like I mentioned earlier, he's also on the album. Got a sick visual with him on the way, bare more music on the way. He's got sick music on the way. Hang Tight Ed has been working on a lot of the visuals. Harry that I've been working on a lot of the visuals with. Jay, sick vocalist. Big up my sister them. Shout out Rebecca as well. Rebecca Sophie, she's fucking smashed it on the album. We've got some more sick music with her as well. Sick music with Jay on the way as well. Hang Tight Blackane, from Manchester. He was also on Useless Boredom. I met him at a show in Brum. Like ancient times, way too long ago. And then only just finally like got into some music together. We're going to be linking up soon. Get some more stuff on the way. And his unreleased stuff sounding crazy as well. Obviously Hang Tight Bart, sick producer. Yeah. And then Hang Tight all the people's them. Oh, and Ella, of course. Shout out Ella as well. Because she did all the artwork and visual work, and that's my G. So yeah, big up Ella as well. I nearly did it. I nearly forgot someone. Where it would have been a bar, and it was. There we go. I remembered. Just before. But yeah, Hang Tight all of them still.
Big up.